Welcome back to another episode of Podcast Chill. I'm Gwen, your friendly guide to all things English.
And I'm Leo, ready to make this learning journey a little more fun and less stressful.
Let me ask you a small question, Leo. Have you ever tried to do something you thought was impossible?
Well, when I was just a kid learning to ride a bike, it felt impossible. Every wobble and fall made me wonder if I'd ever get it right. But then, one day, it just clicked.
That's interesting. Learning a new language is a lot like that. It might feel overwhelming at first, but with the right mindset and consistent effort, it becomes second nature.
I agree. And that's exactly what we'll be talking about today. In this episode, we'll explore how to become fluent in English in just 30 days.
Yep, 30 days. It's not magic. It's about staying consistent, focusing on practical language use, and immersing yourself in English every day.
So, grab a cup of coffee, find a comfy spot, and let's dive into some practical tips to make English fluency your reality.
Let's start with immersion. Think of it like dipping yourself into an English-speaking world every day.
Like jumping into a pool, except this time, you don't need swimming lessons, just your phone and maybe a Netflix account.
Exactly. Change your phone's language to English. It's a simple trick, but it forces you to think in English every time you pick up your phone.
For instance, while scrolling Instagram, switch to following accounts that post content in English. You'd be surprised how much you can learn while looking at memes.
You can create two accounts, one for entertainment only and one for learning things.
Good recommendation, Gwen. Also, watching your favorite shows in English can feel like having fun while learning. Studies even say that listening to how people really talk helps your brain understand the language better.
In simple words, the more you hear English in real situations, the easier it gets to use it yourself.
Here's a tip. Choose shows you really enjoy, like a comedy, drama, or even a reality show. It makes learning fun and keeps you interested.
Right. If it feels boring, you won't want to keep going.
We've been talking about tips to improve your English, but let's focus on the most important one, speaking every day.
That's right. You can learn vocabulary, grammar, and even watch videos, but without speaking, you won't truly communicate naturally. And the best part? You don't need a partner to practice with right away.
Oh, so I don't need to find a speaking buddy right this second?
Yes,
But seriously, I find it super helpful to talk to myself. We can start by speaking to your reflection in the mirror.
that works. But on a more serious note, one of the best things you can do is record yourself speaking, then play it back to check your pronunciation.
Or you could find a language partner through apps like HelloTalk or Tandem. In the beginning, just send voice messages and texts and gradually build up your conversation skills.
Yep. And here's an interesting study by EF International. Speaking just 15 minutes every day can significantly improve your fluency and confidence. So don't overthink it.
Just speak, even if it's just talking to yourself in the mirror or your reflection. The important part is doing it regularly.
Besides, here is the factor that some of you may ignore. The fact that vocabulary plays a really significant role in learning English. We have to learn it not only in a passive way, but also in an active way.
Can you explain more, Gwen?
Sure, passive learning is when you see or hear new words, but you're not really using them yourself. It helps with understanding, but it's not enough.
So active learning, on the other hand, means using the words in real situations, right?
You got it right. Speaking them, writing them, or even practicing in conversations. To make it easier, try focusing on the most common words and phrases used in daily life.
Let me take an example for our listeners. The key is to focus on practical vocabulary, words and phrases that you actually use in everyday situations. For example, can you help me? Or, how much is this?
And it helps to learn phrases, not just individual words. For example, instead of just happy, learn phrases like feeling happy or makes me happy. The more you use the words, the easier they stick.
So it's all about using the words actively.
Right. Let's take a break and learn some new phrases today. You can take your own example on each phrase to understand it more.
Yes, it is also a chance for you to learn English actively, like what we've shared before.
Okay, the first phrase of today is "it just clicked." Something suddenly made sense or became clear after being confusing. We might try to solve something for hours, and then it just clicked.
It's such an amazing phrase. Next, we have become second nature, something you can do easily without thinking about it. After practicing for a few months, speaking English became second nature.
Right, practice makes perfect. Here is another phrase: immerse oneself in. Surrounding oneself with something in daily life to understand it better. To improve quickly, immerse yourself in English by watching shows and reading articles.
I agree. How about narrate something? To describe your actions out loud while you are doing them. I narrate what I'm doing, like, I'm making breakfast, to practice speaking English.
That's a good way to learn. All right, the last phrase of this part is play it back. To listen to a recording after you've made it. I often play it back to see how well I pronounce the words.
You are a hardworking person. Now practice with some questions below to see how well you understand the topic. Type your answer in the comment section to discuss with other listeners.
Let me ask first.
Okay, your turn.
All right, how can using English in daily activities help with learning?
Well, using English daily helps connect the language to real-life situations, making it easier to remember. For example, narrating my actions or writing shopping lists in English keeps me practicing even during routine tasks.
Excellent. This time you ask.
Okay, how could watching shows with subtitles help you learn English?
Language apps are very helpful. Watching shows with subtitles helps connect spoken words to their written form, making it easier to understand and learn new vocabulary. It's also a great way to pick up common phrases and slang.
Great job. Now, this one's fun. Shadowing. Have you heard of it?
Of course, shadowing is when you listen to a short sentence and immediately repeat it, trying to mimic the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
It's like being an English-speaking parrot. But seriously, shadowing is one of the most powerful techniques.
That's right. A study from Tokyo University shows that shadowing is one of the most effective methods for improving pronunciation and fluency.
You can try it with your favorite YouTube videos or TV shows. Pick a short clip, pause, and repeat. It's a fun and powerful way to improve your speaking.
Try this. Watch with subtitles first, then watch again without them. Pause and repeat any phrases you like. You're not just watching, you're practicing.
Speaking of videos, they're great for practicing both listening and speaking at the same time.
You're right.
Shows like Friends or The Office are great choices because they use simple, everyday language and add humor, making the learning process enjoyable.
That's why you're good at joking, huh?
Not really.
Anyway, his recommendations are good choices. You can pause after each sentence, repeat it aloud, and really pay attention to how the words are pronounced and the tone used.
Combining listening and speaking practice like this not only helps you understand better, but also makes you more fluent and natural in conversations.
Now that we've covered some effective ways to practice, let's shift gears a bit. Learning a language can sometimes feel like climbing a mountain, right? But what if you broke that mountain into smaller hills?
Setting big goals can be tough, but breaking them down into smaller, more achievable steps makes it all much easier.
That's a good way. For instance, in the first 10 days, you could focus on building vocabulary and mastering pronunciation.
That's right. First 10 days are the time you have the most motivation, so don't lose it. Learn just a few new words each day, but really work on getting the pronunciation spot on.
Then, in the next 10 days, shift your attention to speaking and listening daily.
Yes, by the time you reach the final 10 days of the month, you can start aiming for full conversations. It's a gradual process, but one that really pays off.
Just think about when you achieve these things. Isn't that great?
That's right. The feeling is so great.
And here's the key. Don't aim for perfection. It's okay to stumble over words or take a moment to think. What matters is that you're communicating.
No one can criticize you. Start with small, simple exchanges, like ordering food or asking for directions. It doesn't have to be perfect and all correct. Just practice and make it a regular habit,
And don't forget, it's not just about learning the language, it's also about building connections.
right? A great way to get started is by joining language exchange meetups or online communities. Chatting with someone about their culture, favorite foods, or hobbies makes the experience more meaningful. It's great to have Gwen by my side for every episode.
Oh, Leo, you're so smooth.
I just tell the truth. Plus, listeners, you might be surprised by how many new friendships you can form.
Yep. After all, language isn't just words. It's about connecting with people, and that's the most rewarding part of the journey.
All right, Gwen, I think it's time to go over some key vocabulary from today's discussion.
Sure, Leo. Let's make sure our listeners understand these words clearly.
The first word of this part is connect with. Form meaningful relationships or conversations. Language helps us connect with people from different cultures.
That's why we're learning it now.
Exactly.
And there is criticize someone or something to point out your mistakes in a negative way. Don't worry. No one will criticize you for trying.
Yes, we're all willing to help you. The next word is master something. To become highly proficient at something. With practice, you can master the skill of speaking English.
So true. Next, there is break something down, to divide a big task into smaller parts. Break them down into steps to make them more manageable. You should break things down not only in learning English, but also with other tasks.
I couldn't agree more. The last word is English-speaking parrot. Someone who repeats English phrases exactly as they are said. Shadowing can make you feel like an English-speaking parrot, but it's effective.
Yep, I've tried it. Trust me. Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. It's been such a joy sharing these tips with you.
And let's not forget, having fun along the way makes it all so much easier. Learning a new language isn't a race, it's an adventure. So laugh at your mistakes, celebrate your wins, and enjoy every step of the journey.
Absolutely. Keep it chill, and we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.